Present, good afternoon, welcome to News Hour. My name is Aminata Fufana. Coming up in this edition of the news, Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security guards its new staff on roles and responsibilities. Director of Community Action for the Welfare of Children describes adolescents as champions in health promotion and rights. And President Julius Maada Bio hosts Muslim worshippers for Eid prayers at Presidential Lodge in Freetown. The stories and more in the next 1 hour. Stay with us. Welcome back. We begin this newscast with the Office of the President, where hundreds of Muslims from different communities yesterday converged at the Islamic College along Wilkinson Road in Freetown to observe Eid al-Adha prayers, where religious leaders used the occasion to preach sacrifice, unity, kindness, and support for the less privileged in society. Esther Sako was there.
The atmosphere at the Islamic College on Wilkinson Road was filled with worship, reflection and celebration as Muslims from all walks of life gathered to mark Eid al-Adha, one of the most significant celebrations in Islam. The event attracted several dignitaries, including the Director General of the National Civil Registration Authority, officials from the Iranian Embassy and other prominent personalities who joined worshippers for the special Eid prayers. Sheikh Ali Jallo, a lecturer at the Islamic College, described Eid al-Adha as a period of sacrifice, compassion and service to humanity. He explained that the celebration reminds Muslims of the importance of helping the needy and spreading the love within their communities regardless of religious background.
So the Eid is about sacrifice. It's about helping people who are in need. It's about helping your community. It's about bringing happiness and the lives of others.
According to Sheikh Jallo, Muslims are encouraged during the holy celebration to slaughter animals and share with neighbors, the poor, the vulnerable population in society. He emphasized that the spirit of Eid is not only about celebration, but also bringing happiness into the lives of others. Delivering his message at the prayers, Sahid Aman Ahmed Musawi, visiting Imam, Muslim cleric and university professor and lecturer, in his message to worshippers encouraged Muslims to remain peaceful, united and committed to doing good for humanity. Sheikh Jallo, while interpreting the message, described the visiting scholar as a respected Islamic teacher who traveled to different parts of the world to officiate similar religious gatherings and promote Islamic teachings. He also acknowledged the contributions made by partners and Islamic organizations in supporting education and community development through the construction of schools and other humanitarian activities. The prayer ended with special supplications for peace, unity and prosperity for Sierra Leone as worshippers exchanged greetings and shared moments of celebration with family, friends and neighbors. SLBC News, Esther Sako reporting.
President Julius Maada Bio has hosted Muslim worshippers at the Presidential Lodge in Freetown for Eid prayers, using his address to speak on family values, youth discipline, and the need to protect children from the negative effects of social media. Here is a report from our status correspondent, Margaret Senge.
President Julius Maada Bio addressed the congregation, linking peace in the country to discipline and responsibility within the homes. President Bio said the root of many social problems lies in the homes. He urged parents to take responsibility for raising their children rather than leaving them solely to teachers.
We enjoy peace, and that peace we for cherish and we for support them. And as how the Imam said, if for start at the home, we see the home controlled, problem not again. But most of the problems that we will get, they start from the home. Because that parents, when they with the people, they sleep and grab with them. They say, no, na teacher will train them. Teacher only get few hours with them. Then you come back to your house. Then you don't left your responsibility That's not one of the problems. And we future then young people in hand, we begin in hand. If you want for old fine and you want for enjoy your old age, you for take care of your beginning.
The president called on Sierra Leoneans to continue being religious tolerant and to peacefully coexist, urging Muslims and Christians to avoid divisions created by misunderstandings of scriptures.
Well, just imagine small picking, let's say below the age of 16. If we not tell them waiting, because all things they are social media, all things, you go able to learn them, you go able spoil yourself there, you go able completely go astray, just depending on social media. So now we begin prepare our mind there. Because we get for make that proposition, we will get for control how we begin to use social media. We feature day and day small one the hand. We get for make sure say they come off fine.
He ended with an appeal to young people to uphold respect and avoid the culture of insult, especially towards women and girls. In his sermon, the Imam Sheikh Omar Bangura praised President Bio's government for being transparent in handling this year's Hajj. He also commended the president for joining the Muslim community for prayers in observation of Eid al-Adha.
Today, Muslims, they go Hajj, they know the soccer. We're not going to allow the Lungi, we're not going to allow the Abuja. We're not going to allow the UBB. Oh yes! So this Alhamdulillah for the administration, the Hajj committee will play for the security, the soldiers and the police will all they play a role because we are going to go home for any responsible people, not to pay the bill for yourself.
Religious leaders in the event welcomed the president's focus on family youth, saying it reflects the shared values of both Christian and Muslim communities in Sierra Leone. For SLBC News, Margaret Singer reporting.
As a way of celebrating the Eid al-Adha holiday, which is the festival of sacrifice by Muslims, Healthcare for the Aged organization, with support from the Sierra Leone Muslim Association in Australia, has distributed sacrificial meats to vulnerable Muslims in 6 communities across the western area as part of the Eid celebration. Our reporter Christiana Kamara has more details.
If we are the rich, we can give gifts, we can make we survive. Me are grateful to you.
Everything we do so for we, na great thing for we, because this we not expect her. We can't see her. So I want to tell you thank you.
The exercise saw the slaughtering of 9 cows for needy families, including persons living with disabilities, in communities such as Kisidokiad, Lucky Town, Calvert, Frabe, Moiba, and Devil Hole in the Western Wall area. Chief Executive Officer and founder of Healthcare for the Aged organization, Dr. Mohamed Sambaba, described the donation as a humanitarian intervention aimed at ensuring deprived Muslims also celebrate Eid al-Adha in happiness and dignity.
The main aim is inclusivity, so that at least everybody will feel at home. Everybody, the less privileged, will be able to eat meat at this time because it is a celebration for all Muslims, and we are targeting the hard to reach community. It's up to 150 million, although I've never, the money doesn't come through me, but the price of the cow, and we just go, they give us the cow, and we are here to do the donation.
At the polio compound in Kisidokiad, beneficiaries expressed gratitude to donors, noting that the support came at a crucial time when many families are struggling to afford food. Some residents also used the opportunity to appeal for support in addressing challenges they face in their community. Similar sentiments were expressed by residents of Looking Town community who thanked the Sierra Leone Muslim Association in Australia and Healthcare for the Aged organization for what they described as a meaningful Eid gesture. They said the sacrificial meat will help sustain several families during the celebration.
We are gratified and we are overwhelmed by this particular act of sacrifice and celebrating this particular Eid.
Community stakeholders at Calvert, Frabe, Moiba, and Devil Hole equally commended both organizations for remembering vulnerable Muslims during one of the most important periods in the Islamic calendar. The Eid al-Adha celebration is observed by Muslims worldwide as a symbol of sacrifice, compassion, and support for the less privileged in society. SLBC News are in Freetown. Christiana Kamara reporting.
As part of the Islamic rites, Sierra Leonean pilgrims have joined fellow pilgrims to pelt pebbles during the 10th Dhul Hijjah in Mina. Yusuf Masiri Suma has the details.
The pelting of stones during pilgrimage is called Rami al-Jamarat in Arabic. It's one of the obligatory rites of Hajj performed in Mina near Mecca. The ritual commemorates the story of Prophet Ibrahim, which Islamic tradition holds that when Ibrahim was on his way to sacrifice his son Ishmael in obedience to God, Satan appeared to him at 3 locations in Mina to dissuade him. Ibrahim responded by throwing stones at him and rejecting the temptation. Muslims reenact these acts to symbolize rejecting evil, temptation, and disobedience to God. The act is not about harming a physical devil. The act represents an internal commitment to reject sin, harmful desires, and anything that distances a person from God. All pilgrims, regardless of nationality or status, stand in the same place throwing the same pebbles. The practical rulings of such acts stated that the pebbles should be small, about the size of a chickpea, collected from Muzdalifah or Mina. If someone is ill, elderly, or unable, Islamic law permits deputizing another person to throw on their behalf. The ritual is performed during daylight hours, though scholars allow extensions for crowd management and safety. Over 200 Sierra Leoneans join fellow pilgrims to perform such Islamic rites. The pillars, which these pilgrims are pelting the pebbles, are not believed to be Satan himself. They are markers of the location where the event occurred. The focus is on the meaning behind the action, not on the physical objects. Yusuf Masiri Suma, SABC News, Freetown.
The Secretary to the Internal Election Management Committee, IEMC, of the All People's Congress Party, David Fona, has updated the public on the just concluded rerun ward elections across several districts in the country. The elections were conducted in line with the instructions of the Political Parties Registration Commission, PPRC, following a number of petitions from some quarters of the party. Speaking in our Good Morning Sierra Leone program, Mr. Fona said Sunday, the 24th May, the APC party conducted 65 wards rerun elections and 55 wards were successfully completed and 10 wards remaining.
Reasons for the inconclusive nature of those elections was as a result of violence in 4 of the wards that the elections were conducted, and you have 6 that were not conducted as a result of the late arrival of our ballot booklets. Sorry to say, we had a logistical constraint that led us to have our ballot booklets arrive on time, and then by the time we got them to the polling station, it was after 2, and the stakeholders as well as the IEMC agreed, by the way, that we must give enough time to conduct those elections and that we defer them for some other day. The security squarely lies in the hands of the police. And so far, we want to commend the police for, aiding us with security in the over 300 or up to 400 elections we have conducted. However, be it as it may, there were certain miscreants within the party that are meant
that are uncontrollable, that each time.
At the National Practicing Mini Stadium on Syke Streets, Muslims within the central and west end of Freetown observed Eidul Adha prayers. Yusuf Mosie Suma was there and sent in first report.
ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين.
Eidul Adha prayer is a special congregation prayer performed on the 10th day of Zul-Hijjah, marking the festival of sacrifice. It commemorates the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ishmael in obedience to God's command and God's mercy in replacing the son with a ram. The prayer is the opening act of the day before the ritual sacrifice of livestock. Hundreds of Muslims from the central and west end of Freetown gathered at the National Practicing Mini Stadium on Syke Street to observe the Eidul Adha prayer. Filling the Mini Stadium grounds, the congregation was mixed with various dignitaries, Islamic scholars, community leaders and political icons, and residents from multiple neighborhoods. Sheikh Sahid Siddiq Kamara from Masjid Hafiyin, Congo Valley, was the officiating imam who led the prayer. He talked about the importance of the journey to Safa and Marwa during the pilgrimage. He emphasized on forgiveness, plurality, justice, and the fear of Allah, which he said can protect an individual and a whole nation from problems.
Because of this, we advise una. I advise una and myself when they talk to una, for let we put fairness before anything what they do. For in taqwa usnun min al fitan. You see this fairness that anybody will get now a protection from the problem. When you get fairness for do all things, it will protect you. This one get fairness where you get wala you don't succeed. Let Allah give you fairness here, Rabia. Wanajata min al mahalik, and also this fairness, it will save you from halaki. It will save the nation from problem.
Alhaji Mohammed Saluba, president of Supreme Islamic Council Sierra Leone, said the sacrifice of a ram in the Eidul Adha commemoration goes with a huge blessings, but it is not compulsory to Muslims who cannot afford.
Today, Ubulant Pools charity. Ubulant Pool charity. But this your charity today is special. Because no charity, you know, the way they go count to the animal in here for bless you. Past the sacrifice. Now something we compulsory to Uda get.
He finally called on Muslims to embrace the 10 days fasting in the Zul-Hijjah calendar and to spend for the sake of Allah and the blessings of the sacrifice. Haja Fatmata Kago from Sanda Street Central Mosque expressed excitement for the importance of this day and offered a special prayer for Muslims across the country.
This day, na big day this. On the day this, where the one day we go Hajj. Now today, and then do the real Hajj. Let Allah bless we all. Let Allah make next year to meet up this day of Arafah.
Following the prayer, many participants proceeded to carry out the Kubani sacrifice and distribute meat to family, neighbors, and those in need, in line with the practice of the day. The gathering at the National Practicing Mini Stadium reflected the continued observance of Eidul Adha among Freetown's Muslim communities, serving as both a religious rite and a moment for social connection among residents of the central and west end of Freetown. The gathering of Muslims at the National Practicing Mini Stadium was organized and championed by the Western Muslim community that comprises about 20 mosques within Freetown. SLBC News, Yusuf Mosie Suma reporting from the central west of Freetown.
Frabe College Muslim Jamaat has organized its maiden student conference on the theme Navigating University Life, Challenges, Faith and Growth Beyond Campus. The conference was an opportunity for students to interface with experienced personalities, including the Deputy Vice Chancellor, on the importance of upholding faith and academic excellence. Mohamed Krumah tells us more.
The Maiden Student Conference, organized by Frabe College Muslim Jamaat, brought together eminent young leaders, Islamic scholars, educationists, and senior officials of the university, including the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Andrew Bayo. The conference was a platform for experienced personalities to motivate students on how to navigate university life, challenges, faith, and growth beyond campus. A renowned Islamic scholar, Dr. Ibrahim Saliu Kamara, encouraged students to strike the balance between faith and academia. He said that Islam is not about accumulating papers, but it is about solving societal problems.
You need spiritual guidance. We have seen knowledge failing us. I have seen PhDs speaking like children, behaving like children. They became a disgrace. You read law, but it's a law without God. So you make law for sale. You sell law. What did the Quran say about people who perpetrate injustice? What did the Quran say? Those people who don't judge according to Allah's command.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Andrew Bayo, lauded FBC Muslim Jamaat for the engagement, stating that Sierra Leone continues to enjoy religious tolerance.
I know exactly what it means to be a Muslim, and you always have my support, because I'm living the practice, even though I am a Christian. But I mean, my wife and my community where I grew, you have Muslims and Christians living in harmony, and that is one of the most important traits of our country.
Senior lecturer of Arabic College, Dr. Fatou Taki, encouraged the students to uphold their Islamic identity, emphasizing the need for students to read, learn, and understand their religion.
Things that you hold very dear to yourselves is you ask yourself the question, what impact am I making? What impact am I making on yourself? What impact am I making on other people? What impact am I making to society? What is my legacy? So I come through the doors of Rabi College and pull me model Akaop. I am here 4 years or 5 years. When I'm done, what am I doing with what I've learned?
The conference also featured panel discussions where students could learn from the inspiring stories of academics who struck the balance between faith and academia. For SLBC, Mohamed Kouma reporting.
The race for the presidency of the Sierra Leone Bar Association is gradually taking shape, with 2 female lawyers now publicly declaring their ambitions ahead of the association's next election. Incumbent President Tuma Adama Jabe is seeking re-election, while legal practitioner Martina Bendu Igbenda is making her first bid for the top position. Their declarations come at a time when the legal profession in Sierra Leone continues to face internal divisions, questions over governance, and growing calls for reforms within the justice sector. Cecilia Alice reports.
The presidency of the Sierra Leone Bar Association is once again in focus, but this time with a significant gender dimension. For the first time in recent years, 2 women are openly competing for leadership of one of the country's most influential professional bodies. Current bar president Tuma Adama Jabe has launched her re-election message under the slogan "Raising the Bar, Securing the Gains," highlighting what she describes as achievement during her tenure. Her campaign materials point to initiatives including the launch of a private pension scheme for lawyers through NASIT, efforts to secure land for a permanent bar secretariat, international scholarship opportunities, and strengthening partnerships within and out of Sierra Leone's judiciary. Tuma Jabe says continuity is needed to consolidate the gains already made by her administration. Meanwhile, newcomer Martina Bendu Igbenda is presenting herself as a reform candidate, campaigning on the message, "Together we can build a united bar." Her vision focuses on unity, professionalism, empowerment, and respect within the legal profession. In her declaration, Martina Igbenda calls for what she terms a united, respected, and progressive bar, promising to promote fairness, ethical standards, and support for young and female lawyers. The emergence of 2 female contenders for the bar's top office is already shaping a different conversation within the legal community. Beyond the politics of the election itself, the contest is also drawing attention to the growing visibility of women in leadership within Sierra Leone's justice sector, particularly at a time when the profession is grappling with questions of reform, unity, and institutional credibility. While both candidates are presenting different visions for the future of the Bar Association, their candidacies also reflect a broader shift in female representation in spaces traditionally dominated by men. As campaigning gradually gains momentum, members of the Bar Association are expected to closely examine not only the candidates' promises, but also their ability to restore confidence, professionalism, and cohesion within the country's legal community. Interviews with the aspirants are expected in the coming days as the race for the Sierra Leone Bar Association presidency gains momentum. SLBC News, Cecilia Alice Cisse.
First Lady Fatima Madabio has delivered a public lecture on the theme Ending Child Marriage and Promoting Girls' Education in Sierra Leone at Frabe College campus. During the lecture, Madam Fatima Bio emphasized that child marriage is not a culture, tradition, or destiny, but injustice to the victim. Yusuf Mosiri Suma was there.
With such an excitement, this was how the First Lady, Fatima Madabio, was welcomed on campus. The public lecture was organized by the Sierra Leone People's Party Students FBC chapter with the theme Ending Child Marriage and Promoting Girls' Education in Sierra Leone. The president of the SLPP FBC chapter, Vandi Mali Sharif, commended the First Lady for her efforts in fight against child marriage, called for a mentorship platform for young female students, and also to enhance leadership skills and jobs for student economic independency.
Your Excellency, in anticipation of better Sierra Leone through young people, we submit you for due consideration and establishment of a mentorship platform linking young female students with women leadership to enhance leadership skills on campus at Frabe College.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Andrew Bayo, described the First Lady as a passionate leader who transforms advocacy into action.
Through the landmark Hands Off Our Girls campaign, His Excellency has led an unrelenting war against child marriage, rape, domestic violence, and the silent suffering of girls across our nation.
Whilst delivering her lectures to students, educators, and community leaders present, the First Lady described child marriage as an injustice and not a culture, tradition, or destiny for girls. She also said girls should not be a burden or transaction in a family.
Across Africa, millions of girls are still being told, your dream do not matter. Your education can wait. Your future belongs to someone else. And we must say clearly and courageously, no, our future belongs to us. A girl is not a burden. A girl is not a transaction. A girl is not a problem to be solved through marriage. A girl is a potential. Child marriage steals that potential. It steals childhood, it steals their education, and it steals their health.
The First Lady said girls' education is a sword against child marriage and that investing in girls is not a charity.
Education is protection. Education is dignity. Education is freedom. So investing in girls is not charity. It is smart national development.
The First Lady added that if Africa wants peace, its leaders must protect girls and improve on their education for a safer learning environment. The First Lady urged young people and duty bearers to take advantage of the role in advocating within their own communities and call on institutions to enforce existing laws against child marriage without exception. Swadu Kaba, a Year 2 student pursuing History and African Studies at FBC, described the lecture as a learning platform. She called on fellow girls not to allow themselves into early marriage, and lawmakers should join the First Lady in her fight against child marriage.
Child should not be forced to marriage if they are not willing, because marriage is willingness. So the First Lady is trying to put an end to that.
Yusuf Mosire Suma, SLBC News, Freetown.
The Public Investments Technical Committee has met for the first time since it was established in 2024. One among many of its functions is to review and appraise government projects and programs for selection and budgeting. Joseph Ture witnessed the event at Country Lodge Hotel in Freetown and sent in this report.
In here are members of the Public Investments Technical Committee drawn from various ministries, departments and agencies, supervised by the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development and the Ministry of Finance. It has a huge task in shaping and aligning government's programs with the available resources. This inaugural meeting held in Freetown focused on key areas not limited to review and appraise projects and programs for selection and budgeting, review the stock of existing public investment programs to effectively streamline the portfolio.
On the rationalization of the PIP itself, with all the numerous projects that are there, we want to see which ones we can retain, which ones we can exit, which ones we can extend, downgrade, or defer.
The Financial Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Matthew Dingy, said there was a need for the committee to bring ongoing projects to financial close, and such strategy should be made clear. He urged the body to have an objective based on practical evidence to show that public investment programs are financially viable.
All of these committees to see how to identify these projects, what's the scope of these projects, and what's the cost of investing this project, but most importantly, how this committee can recommend to government what financing options are there for government to utilize in the implementation of this project.
The Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Kenny Bali, said it was essential to reset the public investment programs framework to restore budget credibility and sustainability. She said the reason her ministry would work with other MDAs and the development partners to align public investment with the government flagship priorities while continuously reforming the system to optimize financing.
The ministry views this committee as the engine that will ensure efficiency, transparency and accountability in all of our public investments.
The technical sessions were very interactive, with experts moving back and forth even over the definition of what a project is as per the public investment programs. Committee was expected to present its work to the Ministerial Committee for review or approval before government's programs are implemented. SLBC, Joseph Ture reporting.
The humanitarian aid organization HAO Sierra Leone, with support from International Humanitarian Help Netherlands, has donated clothing and other children's items to orphans in Makeni and Watslow. The initiative was intended to improve the welfare of vulnerable children while ensuring that they feel included and supported during festive celebrations. Abdul Mansari has more details.
The donation benefited over 100 orphan children. The items donated included children's clothing, shoes, and other essential materials designed to meet some of the immediate needs of the beneficiaries. The International Humanitarian Help Netherlands, with the Humanitarian Aid Organization HAO Sierra Leone, said the gesture formed part of their ongoing efforts to provide care, support, and hope to less privileged children across Sierra Leone. The support comes at a time when many families and orphan children were preparing for the upcoming Eid al-Adha celebration celebrations. The support put smiles on their faces after receiving new clothes ahead of the religious celebration. The CEO of the humanitarian aid organization HAO Sierra Leone, Gassi Moja, expressed satisfaction with the initiative and reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting those in need. The donation exercise was a show that humanitarian organization could promote social welfare, including the well-being of children in need across Sierra Leone. SLBC News, Abdul Mansur reporting.
The African diplomatic missions in Sierra Leone, in partnership with the government of Sierra Leone, have celebrated the first Africa Day 2026 under the theme Together as One Africa. The celebration, attended by ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, and representatives from various ministries, departments, and agencies, focused on reflecting on Africa's past achievements and shaping the future of the continent. Here's the report. High Commissioner of the Gambia and representative of the African Ambassadors Group, Ambassador Claudia Cole, described the occasion as significant for both Sierra Leone and the African continent. She stressed the need for safe water and sanitation systems in achieving the African Union's Agenda 2063. She noted that diplomats must move beyond words to action in addressing challenges affecting the continent, particularly access to clean water, which she described as a matter of human dignity and a basic necessity of life. According to her, Agenda 2063 envisions an Africa free from deprivation, where citizens have access to essential amenities.
I wish to pay special tribute to our host nation, the Republic of Sierra Leone, a country that embodies the spirit of Africa. Sierra Leone has demonstrated courage in the face of adversity and today stands as a proud example of resilience, democratic governance, and the warm hospitality that defines the African spirit. We are grateful for the friendship and solidarity extended to all African nations represented here. And I want to say thank you.
The Gambian High Commissioner reaffirmed the commitment of Africa diplomatic missions and partners to prioritize sustainable water systems and strengthen collective action toward development goals. She added that Africa, with its population of over 1.4 billion people, remains blessed with rich cultural diversity and abundant natural resources despite challenges posed by climate change. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Timothy Kaba said the commemoration of Africa Day, established on May 25, 1963, serves not only as a moment of reflection, but also an opportunity to renew commitment to African solutions to African problems. The minister said Agenda 2063 represents Africa's determination to transform the continent into a globally competitive and inclusive society where resources are managed responsibly. He said Sierra Leone's commitment to the principles of the African Union and the goals of Agenda 2063, emphasizing that access to water is a fundamental to human dignity, public health, economic productivity, and social development. The minister noted that the theme Together as One Africa speaks to the importance of unity and cooperation in addressing challenges confronting the continent. He said Africa's strength lies in its youthful population, innovation, and cultural diversity, which are critical in building resilient societies. The minister concluded by renewing Sierra Leone's commitment to African solidarity and assured the diplomatic community of the fullest support of President Julius Maada Bio in advancing the continent's development aspirations. Ambassador of Egypt recalled the experience in making the event a success. She expressed appreciation to the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the collective contribution to making the first celebration a success. She said the launch of the African Ambassador Group and the anniversary of Africa Day.
Our continent is rich in natural resources, youthful energy, innovation, and cultural diversity. What is now required is the collective resolve to harness these strengths to build resilient societies and create opportunities for all Africans. On this Africa Day, let us therefore renew our commitment as Africans to our African solidarity, sustainable development, peace and regional cooperation. Let us continue to work together to ensure that no African is left behind in our collective journey towards prosperity and dignity.
The ambassador of Egypt recalled the collective efforts made to ensure the success of the events and expressed appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation for its support and contribution toward making the first Africa Day 2026 celebration a success. She noted that the launch of the African Ambassadors Group alongside the commemoration of Africa Day marked a significant milestone and expressed optimism that future celebrations would become even more successful. And it's now time for the entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News with me, Sulaiman Babature. In this edition of Entertainment News, Sierra Leonean female artist Vida calls for help over rape allegation. Magical Podium, a team of artists from Farabi College, perform at the First Lady's public lecture on early marriage. And Harmony accuses Incredible JJ over song theft. And now, legendary Sierra Leonean female artist Davida Green, popularly known as Vida, has accused her ex-lover of rape and sexual harassment. The news came out after the singer posted the sad news on her Facebook page as a way of letting out the silent pain she has been living with. In her write-up, she said, "This burden has shattered her emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, as she chose to keep it silent because the undisclosed accused person is someone she loved and trusted." The singer said even after begging and complaining about her recovering from an illness and surgery, the accused went on to sexually assault and rape her multiple times. The singer also claims that her accused ex tore her clothes, rippled her underwear, bruised and bite her while forcing himself on her. Since the news broke out, entertainers, fans, bloggers, media personalities are talking about it and calling for justice. And now, as part of its aim as an institution, Farabi College nurtures leaders who are believed to take over leadership and development in Sierra Leone, in shaping their leadership and professional skills in different professions. The school also strives to unearth the students' social potential in different fields, from music, sport, drama, and more. This was seen during the First Lady's public lecture at Farabi College as a team of young stars students. Farabi College took over the podium to entertain Her Excellency and the audience. The team performed a song speaking to the event titled Hands Off Our Girls, and also a song dedicated to Farabi College, the Afro Fusion, titled We FDC. Let's see how it went.
Hands off, here we have. Here we have. Hands off, here we have. Smart big kilos away. Hands off, here we have. Here we have. Here we are.
It was indeed classic, a great performance by the Magical Podium. And now, finally, on this edition of Entertainment News, Sierra Leonean singer Harmony has announced his exit from the Kulala team after accusing rising star Incredible JJ of claiming a song they both worked on years ago. Speaking on Slick TV and through a post on his Facebook page, the singer said Incredible JJ included the song in his recently released EP, The Mat, with no credit. In the post also, the upcoming star thanked all those who supported him and disclosed closing his chapter as a Kulala Troop Lion. He also claimed it was a heavy decision and thanked the team for all they've done for him. Well, though, he said that, but people are still in doubt because this has been the game recently wherein artists, superstars are claiming things to create the stunts on social media or promote their songs. Well, if it's true, it's sad, really, but if it's not, well, this is all we have for this edition of Entertainment News. I've been your presenter, Slaman Babatue. Thanks for watching and keep watching the SOBC. Bye-bye.
We'll now join Abdul Kabir for the latest sports updates.
Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's the sporting updates that keeps you in the know. Now, by the way, the Islamic Youth Sports Association has concluded its 2026 Inter-Masjid Award Ceremony at the National Stadium Mosque in Freetown. Here is a snippet of that event.
Ourselves that we are the most luckiest people on planet Earth. For let this particular time come, we be part of the society, will be part of the people on this particular thing is very important and is significant for achievements and life.
So this is a big opportunity this for we, for coming to learn and check them. Let us will help we in this part for take us through the masjid there. I believe say this is the way forward now for learning campaign for the reach now the masjid there. That's why I say this campaign don't come up far. We don't take out the schools, the primary schools, we go there, we give them football, we give them jerseys them for team we go keep them for let us go the able come up from this senior. We come out there, we go back now the secondary schools them when they will be. We don't go about 20 secondary schools and now we don't go. We get football, we get jerseys, they do all that thing and they for reach this no to drugs campaign. So if we carry so today, not to any different, and the same campaign no more we carry it. The Jama we go fortunate or we go get luck or we go carry the day, now we go lift this giant trophy. So gentlemen, these are the giant trophy for the first place. Yes, sir. And I will be this are the medal, the gold medal, and the silver medal, and 45. This will be for the first and second. Well, like this, we were there into football. Anybody where they end this man, now big respect, now big achievement. So these are the medals there. Then these are the various prizes there. We were there for football. You can get best player, you can get highest goal scorer, so forth. So that they own prize there on their wire. Then the team where they carry the game now, if this not all the way to the top of football, they know it. Now this 22 man at the field, they won't attack. This one game ball, like 22 men at the field, and this one man they look for. Now this is the play man found for. So we bring it here for camp presenter to the Islamic Youth organization where they are. Say we go with them, we say appreciate what they do, and this set up, we say don't cast this out today. Mr. will carry this message by God in power, any future one or any Islamic continent God, we say will able can for see how we support.
Well, full detail in our subsequent edition. Now in the international scene, Crystal Palace are the champions of the Europa Conference League. After an exciting display for Palace, this is coming as a very important boost for the team, and as well, the English game has been so important lately in terms of winning international trophies, and away from home, they've been highly successful. For Palace, this is absolutely massive. The win against rival Kano was an exciting one, 1-0 win, and they will celebrate this milestone in days and weeks to come. Ishmael Assar was the man of the match. Well, he has been so supportive to the team, and in fact, his contributions has been invaluable as a result of his wonderful character on the field. This player has inspired countless of other youngsters to believe in themselves and to take the game very seriously. For Palace, this is quite a huge achievement for them, and for the English teams, they've been absolutely wonderful this season. You know, away from home, they've been securing important milestones, and that's the power of football. When you have a league that is competitive, a league that is producing the best of stars, then you are sure to make inroads insofar as claiming important honors in football. Crystal Palace, what an achievement. And that ends your update, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Many thanks, Abdul Kabir. With that sports update, we wrap the news. But before we go, here is a recap of the main points. The Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security has concluded a 3-day induction workshop for newly recruited labour and employment and occupational safety and health inspectors at the Serapans Resort. The training brought together over 120 new staff members aimed at strengthening labour administration and workplace inspections across the country. The Director of Community Action for the Welfare of Children, Kawek Fode Sise, has described adolescents as champions in promoting health rights and equality to help them make informed decisions for healthy living. He made the statement while delivering his keynote address at a health and reproductive health school quiz competition held on the theme Empowering Adolescents as Champions for Health Rights and Equality. And President Julius Maada Bio yesterday hosted Muslim worshippers at the Presidential Lodge in Freetown for 8 prayers, using his address to speak on family values, youth discipline, and the need to protect children from the negative effect of social media. That's all we can share with you on this afternoon's broadcast of News. I am Aminata Fofana. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon all.